Alright, cocksuckers, welcome back. Wait, have I already insulted you by calling you cocksuckers recently? Possibly. Alright, cunts, there you go. Uh, I don't know. I think I'm too nice nowadays. I can't think of anything mean to say. But, audience, my wonderful audience, who I always appreciate, welcome back. I'm taking a break from Crazy Scooters, as I said in the previous video, just for like literally this hour, or maybe the next couple hours, and I'm just gonna practice lines, right? I'm gonna make it a bit more than just, oh wait, like, subscribe! Okay, now that everybody's fucked off, and I don't even have to tell them this time. Yeah, I'm going to be warming up, right? And technically, this is going to be line practice, but because again, like my thumb was hurting, so I need to make sure I'm even looser with my lines, right? Kim Jong-il type lines. And the goal is obviously to create as thin, consistent, and yeah, like relaxed lines as possible. But I'm obviously going to do it a little bit extra, and we're gonna focus on not really creating clusters per se, but yeah, just practicing some super simple shapes and then just going over that while I practice my lines. So I guess an example I can give is, let me think. Okay, so I have a box, and again, this angle is what I'm struggling with right now. So box like that, make it go somewhat like this. Right, this is the perspective I'm thinking of. And this is great because I get to hit two birds with one stone and a machete. Because it's honestly really hard to hit two birds with one stone, let's be honest. You need at least one more weapon of choice. But this way I get to practice many things. I get to practice visualization of 3D space. I get to practice lines and clean consistent lines, being the main thing I'm practicing. But the second thing is, yeah, I get to practice visualization and shapes and rotating those shapes. Right, so that's what I'm trying to focus on. So if that's my box, and I'm going to try tapering this. Right, so we can, if that's what it's, then maybe tapering it in the middle like so. And if that's the case, then the perspective, the plane changes, and I get to visualize maybe a cylinder with really, really poor lines. Right? Something like that. Is that perfect? Not at all. Not at all? Not at all, actually, because it's kind of jutting out a bit weirdly. So let's try rotating this. Oh, wait, before I do that, though, this is line practice, so I'm just gonna go over it with all the lines that I need to. Yeah, this isn't really shape practice, although it helps, and I'm going to keep trying to keep the perspective in. What the fuck is my English, bro? I'm going to try to keep the perspective in place as much as possible, but this isn't really, this is obviously, I'm going to do spatial reasoning as much as I can, but this is not spatial reasoning practice per se. This is purely so I can focus on relaxing my thumb when I draw. Right, that's the main thing. I want my pen to glide across the page, and I want the lines to be as consistent as possible with this sort of very slight pen pressure, right? This is literally how Kim Jong-il draws. Like, he's so clean. And now this is gonna lose its form, but it's okay, I don't care about that. I mainly just care about doing my best and making as many errors as possible. Right? Error. We all trying to make error. But yeah, I'm gonna keep saying it again and again. If you want to get good at something, not just art, but if you want to get good at something, keep making errors and tell yourself, "This is good. I love this shit so much." Oh my god, I'm nutting. Maybe that last part, you're not nutting. Perhaps you're just strutting your stuff. Really, really good joke. But yeah, this is warming up. Blah blah blah. Right. See, curves are obviously very difficult when it comes to maintaining the pen pressure. So that's just something I'll do. Now I'm going to rotate this afterwards, but right now let's try drawing some ellipses. Right? Keeping the super slight pen pressure is very difficult, so that's why we practice that. It's really why we practice anything. And again, like always, trying to visualize the marks I'm putting down on paper, right? So one thing anybody who can draw from imagination always says, and I think it's really good practice, is you're just bringing to life a world that already exists, right? And the degree of fidelity in which you're bringing it to life is purely contingent on the skills that you have, i.e., the fundamentals, right? As well as how much cognitive effort you're expending, you know? So, and physical effort, of course, in terms of being very precise with your hand eye coordination, like I'm trying to be. But it's really, really fun because, again, when you're shit, you have nowhere to go but up. Granted, you actually accept learning, which is being uncomfortable. Antonio from ArtWad, right? Your boy, Mr. Stepertz, I think it's an S at the end, put out a video today or yesterday saying, what is it? Like, they do their clickbait titles because, you know, they know how to game the algorithm, but it's something about how to essentially, like, number one way to improve exponentially that feels like cheating, something like that. But the gist of the video is he says, you know, the Dunning-Kruger effect is when you initially find something out and you know a lot, or you think you know a lot, but then you actually put into practice and you realize you know jack shit, right? Something to that effect. So really all he promotes and explains, and this is something I've been obviously promoting in my channel in my own way, is just people tend to not improve or plateau once they continue to improve because they forget that there are a myriad of skills at hand, not just the one initially they thought they had to get. He uses the example of somebody trying to learn how to paint like Leyendecker, but then they realize they need to learn light and shadow, and they need to learn like shape language when it comes to brushstrokes and all that stuff, and how basically the gist of what he's saying is people spend too little time on one thing. I may have been guilty with this, with how I've been practicing, which is why I'm spending a lot more time on one thing and trying to get it down. But the gist is spend long enough on something until you feel as if you've truly internalized it, right? It's really the only way that you will internalize it is if you actually spend long enough on something, right? That's the gist of it. And the other thing is, obviously, while you're going through that process, accept that you will make many mistakes, that'll be very difficult, and learn to enjoy that. That's basically what he says. You know, he says it in his own way, but that's the gist. You know, it's just his own way of promoting growth mindset, right? So that's what it is. And the funny thing is, mindsets can be trained and changed, right? I'm making so many mistakes, but why do I enjoy it? Because I'm telling myself I enjoy it, and I'm just literally forcing feelings of pleasure while I do this, right? The aroused and the you know, I guess arousal is really the only time of pleasure, right? I'm sure somebody's gonna correct me on that, and I'll just respond with the because that's how aroused I am while I draw this tapered cylinder, a type of manipulative form that you learn from ArtWad. Check them out, everybody. But yeah, like for me right now, I'm just trying my best for real. Fuck man, my best isn't good enough. Kill me. Okay, so I know I struggle with this type of angle. Yeah, obviously the goal is Kim Jong-il lines. Or not even just Kim Jong-il lines. He's my standard because his standard is extremely high, right? So that's obviously what I want to strive for, but really it's just excellence. Excellence, proficiency, a bit of swag, right? What else do you need? I don't think kids say swag these days, and it's so sad that I have to say kids, because it reminds me that I'm no longer 16, but I'm fucking 27, almost 28. Oh my god, technically that is a child. It's so weird. So weird to grow up. I didn't mean to get all existential, but here I am. I'm fucking just lamenting my age. But it's okay, because my body will die at one point, and now I'm even sadder. Okay, I'm also trying to think about drawing through the forms. I'm thinking about the overall ellipse, even though I'm focusing on line and trying to keep these lines relatively thin and consistent. I always want to keep form in the back front. In the back front? What the fuck is the back front? The forefront. I want to keep form in the forefront. Alright, the form or the forefront. Say that 5 times fast and realize it's not that difficult to say. And then give up. Yeah, see, it's actually really difficult to hold your pen lightly while still drawing something decent. But let me take a break. Let me rest my brain. Cool. And let me try to draw this shape that I was initially drawing, but from the side a bit more, right? So still from the bottom angle, but now maybe something like this instead. Right? Not perfect by any means, but see, now that's more accurate, because this thing would have been the minor axis for this would have been more like this, I believe. But now this is actually the sort of ellipse it would be. For rotating it, it's supposed to be a tapered the shape. So the reason I'm drawing so small is because I'm trying to get used to yeah, just making really thin lines, right? And that was off perspective, so that's okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get used to making really thin lines, like literally like this, right? But from any angle, you see how much so much thicker when I go horizontal. And that's another thing. Like this is why I'm just doing line practice, because something like this, it is technically we are capable of making this even thinner, but it just comes down with practice, right? And I'll probably honestly we could just try to fill this page up with as many of these lines, not these specific lines, but just line practice as much as possible. It's not gonna look amazing, but it is what it is. Let me try bringing this a bit more front and center. So I'm trying to think about the box, and you see, like the lines aren't that bad. They're thin and they're being worked on. I think what this needs to do is go further out for the time being. Do have something like this. I guess we could try it on both sides, might as well, right? Make it an even application. And again, I'm trying to keep that perspective in mind. The thing is, it's funny when you're at, I don't want to say my level, but when you're at a level where perspective isn't as difficult, funny enough, you actually might end up forgetting how to think about it. You know what I mean? I don't think this is correct either, but it's another opportunity for me to practice these types of lines. Because I do struggle with this angle, and this is a great way for me to really focus on relaxing my thumb and my hand. Right? Learning requires what? A decent amount of things, but I think the main thing I can say for learning is just concentrated effort and happiness derived from the effort. Right? Happiness derived from all parts of the effort. Like the errors that you make, the effort that you expend in general, right? You want to acknowledge when you're actually making a concentrated effort. It's difficult because if anybody has listened or watched my videos, you'll know that fucking like literally half the time I'm like, I think I could have tried harder. I think I could have thought harder. And you can always try harder and think harder. Even here, I could have kept the box in my mind much better than I initially did, than I have, right? But I think you just got to keep going, right? Meet the Robinsons. I love that movie. Beautiful. It has this one quote, and you guys know what I'm talking about, but it truly resonates with me, and it's really nice. Keep moving forward. What else can you do? We can bitch, we can cry, but at the end of the day, you just got to keep moving forward. So let's skip the bitching and the crying and just start moving, right? It's as simple as that. But, like, okay, I'm thinking about a box. Like this. Right? And again, this isn't the focus, The focus is on not tapering, but just line quality, right? But if it helps, it helps. Something like that, maybe. And then see, that's a bit incorrect, I think. I don't know what I did here. See, I lost sight of the box. But that's fine because the goal right now isn't really the box. You know? The goal really isn't the box. The goal is just lines. But, to the best of my ability, I will draw that or visualize that box as much as I can. And that's all I can do. Right? Lines are a bit relaxing in that sense, as we can forgive ourselves because the primary motive is just lines, right? Right now, it really is just lines. Everything else technically is secondary, even though it is something we are focusing on, right? But right now, it's okay. If I was actually trying to draw anything specific, I would be more critical about the actual perspective, and more consistent and more critical, more aware of trying to visualize the perspective. But not that I am not right now in terms of the effort I'm expending, but the focus is just lines, right? And I need to relax my hand even further. The main goal is just anytime I notice my fingers tensen up, just relax them. That will result in much poorer lines because obviously this is a new skill set that I'm training, or a new application of that skill set. But at the end of the day, that is how you grow, right? Like, I'm basically unlearning, just slightly, but enough for it to make a difference, pressure control. Because clearly the way I was clenching it before was maybe a bit too much, even though I do believe it wasn't as bad. But clearly it was bad enough to cause pain, so I'm probably just fucking coping. It's interesting how these line drawing videos get the most views. I feel as if it's because people are like, this is doable, it's easy. Everything else looks like a mess. But this, everybody can draw lines technically, right? You fucking pieces of shit. Give me views on my Give me views on my other videos. Right. Did I rest my brain yet? I don't think I did. Let me rest my brain again. Yeah, I hope I'll have time to record or do my bike practice again later today. But we shall see. We shall see indeed. Okay. What else was there? Rounding. We can do rounding. Rounding is difficult, therefore we can do it, right? Yeah, okay, let's do something like this. There you go, that is single rounding. And maybe I can try tapering it. So if I project this outward, then it will be roughly a line like so, maybe. Incorrect, but really all this does is give me the opportunity to practice a straight to curved line, right? So yeah, when it comes to line practice, right now it's all just opportunities to practice different types of lines, right? Perspective is obviously, well, I'm just repeating myself, but yeah, perspective is something I'm thinking about, but still. I mean, I do like repeating myself because it reinforces the way I think when it comes to drawing, and it reinforces to whoever listening that first, and second, I just want to promote a really healthy mindset around not just art. Again, the mindset I'm trying to promote isn't just around art. It's around really as many things as you can, right? It's yeah, just as many things as you can, because learning to accept failure and learning to enjoy failure is really key to just progressing in anything. That's why even Antonio in his videos he says this is not just art, this is for life in general. Art is just incredibly good way to learn the appropriate mindset and to practice the appropriate mindset because it's an extremely humbling skill. Right? It's the most humbling skill. Also, like and subscribe if you haven't already, you piece of shit. I realize that if you're watching at this point, either you have or you've forgotten. So fucking do it. I need the goddamn statistics. I'm so fucking anal about my analytics. So please, give me the butt plug that is your like and subscribe. But yeah, what the fuck was I saying? I got so caught up in my shilling. I guess we can do a contour manipulation, right? Or just like a twisting of a form. See, even if you don't practice it, if you practice fundamentals, you will retain it. When's the last time I did this? It's been a while, but it's clearly something which, okay, how does this look? It's clearly something which is stuck with me. That's why fundamentals is so important. It's funny, art is the only skill where they really promote the fundamentals, and yet you still see posts on fucking Reddit and people on YouTube asking, are the fundamentals really that important? Can I learn without the fundamentals? That is the most retarded fucking question in the world. The word fundamental, as in completely important, the basics, the core of what underlies something, right? The fundamental of human anatomy is what? And I don't mean by art. We're just a bunch of fucking bones, right? And even more so, I guess you could say we're a bunch of like multicellular organisms put together. But whatever, like the analogy I guess relatively stands is the fact that fundamentally we're just a bunch of bones covered by skin and then tissue and organs and all that and blood, right? But really we're just a bunch of bones, if you want to use that sort of analogy. So it's like saying, can I really be a human being without bones? No, you fucking can't, you tard. Can you really learn to draw without the fundamentals? Not really, right? If you are getting better at drawing, that's probably because some fundamentals you're still learning, right? If your perspective is something you're not focusing on because you don't care about it, because you're fucking scared of it, but you're probably still focused on making your lines better, you're probably still focusing on understanding proportions better, right? Those are all fundamentals. But again, form is the most important fundamental, right? This whole constructivist approach, it's god tier. You should be so thankful that for the hundreds and I don't know, thousands, I don't know how long art goes back in terms of what we understand now, right? I don't know much art history, although apparently that's important. But yeah, I don't know much art history, but we should all be extremely thankful that basically art has been solved, right? Like how to get good at art has literally been solved. It's just our job to do it, to go through the process and be the that was pretty bad. Be the version of our artist. When I rant, I obviously go to shit. But be the type of artist that, with our knowledge and our understanding of the fundamentals, be that artist, right? Be the oh Jesus Christ, yes, inspirational burping. But yeah, it's our duty, really. It's just our job if we want to learn, because these geniuses before us have already understood this entire skill set and have broken it down literally into fucking sections for you to just be like, okay, first this section, drill for 5-10 years, then this section, drill for 5-10 years, then this section, drill for 5-10 years. Would you look at that? I'm basically a quote-unquote master, right? It's really not that fucking difficult. It's very simple in terms of like what you have to do, right? I understand that doing is the difficult part, which is why I promote having a very positive, growth-oriented mindset and just enjoying the process in of itself. But I don't think there should be any bitching about or asking stupid questions like, oh, do I really need the fundamentals? Bro, like I'm gonna kill myself not before I gun down all 460 of you, which is great. I have 460 subscribers. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe. You fucking pieces of shits. I swear. And honestly, half this rage is directed at myself because if you don't know, I was also exactly that person that I'm complaining about, right? So it took me some time to get to this point. But I want to skip that for all of you. I want to skip that point where you're all fucking asking retarded questions and shit, and just get to the point where you are actually just doing the work and enjoying it. That's what I want for my audience or for anybody watching. Speaking of, apparently only 45% of people watching my videos aren't subscribed. You fucking piece of shit, subscribe. There you go. And then incorrect, absolutely incorrect, but it's okay, right? That's just what happens. And this was a pretty decent line. So yeah, yes, the fundamentals are important. Which fundamentals should you focus on? At the very least, focus on lines, like confident line work and form, right? This is why I keep shilling Artwad, because they literally give you they on a template, on a fucking template, they give you the form aspect. You know, you just go through it and you drill the shit out of it as many times until you understand each section, right? They added their grind nodes as well, which is what their original beginner basics course had, which is essentially like draw 20 of this, draw 30 of this, draw 40 of this. If that's daunting to you, then just don't draw. Literally, just don't. You shouldn't be someone who wants to learn art, in my opinion, right? Because I have to say, in my opinion, otherwise somebody might fucking start spazzing and be like, you said something I don't like. Oh my god. But yeah, in my opinion, if you're not willing to, at the very least, conceptually understand that getting good at something requires a lot of work, then you most likely need to do either one of two things, which is conceptualize it, accept it, and do your best to apply it, right? Or just literally don't do the thing, because there's no one or the other, right? You're just gonna be fucking mentally masturbating and stuck in a goddamn prison of your mind otherwise, where you're just gonna be like, oh, I want to do the thing, but I don't want to do all the work for the thing, but I want to do the thing just like I used to be, right? So that place is hell, because you just feel extremely guilty. You literally just feel extremely guilty. So hold yourself accountable and tell yourself, okay, I'm either A, willing to put into the work and willing to do my best to improve my mindset and just enjoy the part where I'm shit, just like I'm doing it right now. This is all shit, right? The thing is, my reference for shit is just much higher now because I put in 2.5 years at this point, right? But it's still all just shit. There's still greater heights to achieve. But yeah, you can either do that, the first thing, or you can do the second thing, which is, again, hold yourself accountable and say, well, you know what? This is something that I liked as an idea. And I'm not just talking about art, but like any skill or something you want to do. Like, this is something you like as an idea, but I'm not ready or willing to put in the work right now. But you have to acknowledge that it takes work. If you're going to egotistically discount the work it takes to get good and just use the word talent, which I'm gonna fucking literally nut in rage over, just like that. And that was the sperm, right? The semen being splattered all over my well, not my floor, probably on the ceiling. But yes, it's a very powerful. This is fucking ejaculate. Anyways, these metaphors are fucking horrible, or analogies or tangents. But the point being, yeah, just if you actually care about art and you actually want to be the artist that you really want yourself to be, then put in the work. Be the best that you can be. That was my middle school's slogan, which was amazing. Be the best that you can be. You know, really really nice message to send to kids. But I hope I didn't dox myself with that. But let me rest my brain. And I do think there's been a relatively decent increase, or not like increase, but I think slowly but surely I'm getting more comfortable with these lines, right? Jesus. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do some more form tapering because I think I'm struggling with that right now. So, tapering is really just what? A smaller projection of the form, right? So if you have something like this, and again, and this is the box, then it's like right around here, right? Is the middle, like that. Okay, so it's something like cool. Now, the form aside, the lines aren't that good. So what do we need to do? We just need to practice the lines, because the end goal was, or not the end goal, but the goal, right? The main thing in mind is the lines. And even though the perspective is a bit skewed, that's something I could consistently work on. Which is the beautiful part, honestly. Like, that's why I want to keep promoting it. The fact that we have the ability to work on things and genuinely improve, because our brain operates in such a way that when we put effort into something, we improve. Like, we should all count our blessings we have that ability, because not everybody does. You know, there are people who are born with intellectual disabilities, myself included. No, but yeah, like, there are people born with intellectual disabilities, right? There are people born without the ability to even see. You know, and this isn't like a little, oh, okay, everybody's worse off, so you should appreciate yourself. But we should count our blessings that we have the ability to create art, right? Because it's not something that everyone can do. And I mean physically. I don't mean fucking whatever, like, mental bullshit holding you back, right? I mean physically, there are people incapable of creating art. Even they find a way. There's people who without hands and they learn how to draw with their feet. So the only thing stopping you is that you're retarded. It's as simple as that. But let's do some more form tingamajiggies, right? But again, main thing is line, but obviously visualizing is very important as well. There you go. And just like that. That's a bit off, but I need to think now, because I did fuck something up here. But if we ignore all of that and just focus on this, see more tapering. Now, what's happening here? Now that I actually got the box down in my mind pretty decently, I know that I can just draw something like this, right? And I guess the main thing here is that I made mistakes going yonder donder, but whatever, something like that. Right? Not perfect, but it will do. And it doesn't really make too much sense. Unless I do something like this. It's kind of jutting out, but it's not jutting out, but maybe I can make it jut out. But either way, it's a form, and now what are we gonna do? Ignore the fact that it was a form and just draw the lines. Right? Because today, and honestly forever, it's all about retraining my hand to make clean lines, yes, but also more relaxed lines. And they're gonna look really bad. It's like, it's true. I probably have set myself back around 6 months with this practice, but 6 months from now, my hand will be much calmer. I'll have absolutely zero risk of any sort of injury because I'm so relaxed while I'm drawing. And my lines will be very clean. So, worth, honestly. And again, just because the lines aren't perfect doesn't mean the mind and the hand-eye coordination isn't there. Like, the coordination is there and the mind sees what it sees. So I can continue to improve that. But yes, the lines will take a hit. And that's completely okay. Right? That's why it's so important to just enjoy the errors. Error? Is my mic still on? Fuck, I'm always so worried my mic randomly dies. But yeah, that's why it's really important to enjoy the errors, guys. Because, see, like, these are all, look how fucking bad these lines are compared to what I want. What do I want? I want a line like this. Like, as thin as this, or what this over here was. but in all angles, in all possible occurrences, while keeping my hand extremely relaxed. Right? That's really difficult to do. I want them Kim Jong-il lines. And you have to remember, he drew 100 times more than I did. The only thing I have going for me is my approach and hopefully neuroscience, right? Yeah, is the goal really to be better than Kim Jong-il? No. It's to be my version of Kim Jong-il, which is just someone who can draw whatever the fuck they want, visualize it however they want. And you see how bad all these lines are? That means this really requires work. So we can just do some line, we can just draw a box and do lines like that, or just draw a plane, even literally in that angle, right? See, that's a really clean line. This, not so much, which is why I'm going to make it very long. Again, vertical is much easier for me than horizontal and diagonal. But this is the step, right? Just the like I think drawing lines are probably the best way I could showcase what I mean, because it's simple to understand. But know that this applies to everything. Your understanding of perspective, how much you use your brain, right? Your character designs, anything that you're learning, right? It's just trial, error and effort. See, that one was a bit better because I noticed how my pen was slightly lifting up there, right? So, and it takes time. Look at this. I'm already at 36 minutes. What have I drawn? Not much. But if you account for the individual lines, that's a lot of repetitions right there. And speaking of, let me rest my brain. All right, cool. Oh, my neck is so sore. Well, I trained neck today, but I think it's just because I'm a bit tired. Right, but yeah. See, in this way, I can just, again, relax my hand, just focus on the lines. You see, it's not so bad. And trust me, my lines were a million times worse than this a year and a half ago when I first started using this pen. Like, I can't even explain how bad they were. Actually, I can. Imagine, like, I'm doing that, but it's like this. Like, that's basically what it was. For months on end. And yes, guys, learning art takes months to learn even something. It takes months to get even slightly better at one specific thing, right? It takes years to get a lot better at multiple things, which is why I like what is it, this shit that I have, right? Like, what is it? Can you see? Yeah, like this shit that I have. And I have 6 of those blocks, right? So it's like right now we're in this crazy scooters block where I'm just going ballistic on that. But then there will be the beginner roadmap, and then cute bots, and then figure roadmap, and then sci-fi loot box workout from ArtWad, and then portrait roadmap, and then cars workout, and figure roadmap, but with hands specifically, right? That's my next 5 years minimum, right? Like that's a really good visual library to build. Imagine 5 years from now when I can draw, let's say 2 to 3 different types of cars in any angle, right? In any angle or as many angles, like a variety of angles, right? Two to three types of scooters in many angles, right? Robots. What else? Fucking sci-fi loot box, and figures. That's a lot. That's a lot, and also being able to proficiently draw hands. So that means by the 7.5 year mark, I will be extremely proficient at drawing all these things from imagination and putting them into a scene because I'm also doing imagination practice and also guns, tanks, and planes, which is what I'm focusing on a reference, right? So yeah, in 7.5 years, my visual library won't seem like much, but just because I'll understand the basic shapes of essentially 6 to 7 things and slight variations of those 6 to 7 things, it will look like I can draw a lot more than I can. And then I'll just after that, after like the essentially after the 7 to 8 year mark, it's just about continuing to refine the basics, continuing to add things to my repertoire via the art wad workouts, right? That's like my 20-year plan right now. First 20 years, master, quote unquote master, or just become really excellent at the fundamentals and build proficient visual library, right? Not even proficient, plentiful visual library. And then I can start working on dynamism. I'm sure this will change as time goes on, but this is just a rough idea, right? I'll focus on dynamism, drawing manga, right? I'll release some one shots when I'm probably in like 45 to 50, right? And then around 50, hopefully by 55 to 60, I can start Animorphs. And it will be one of the greatest manga of all time. Hopefully I don't die before I complete it. That's my only worry. But yeah. What the fuck was I even talking about? I always end up going on a tangent about my life goals. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. But yeah, guys, believe. Here, I'm just gonna practice a little bit of my crazy scooters right now. Right. Let's focus on the lines. Wee. Yeah, clean lines make a huge difference when it comes to like what you're trying to draw, right? Huge difference. Something like that is what it is. And that's why you want to have clean lines, right? This is a good way to keep the perspective in mind and also focus on visualizing. Right? Am I doing crazy scooters right now? Absolutely not. But we're just going to practice roughly what it could be. And this we're going to keep super simple. Right, probably goes down there. Again, I'm obviously going to draw over this. If that's how it's being covered, then we go back here a bit more. And let's see, this is the perspective. So we just need to not perfect by any means, but that's how you work on it, right? And this is like obviously a different version of the crazy scooters thing that I'm doing. But maybe it doesn't have to be. Right? Maybe I can still fraud my way through it. Oh, see, but that doesn't matter because now, not only were the lines not that great, my hand was a bit more stiff. If probably not noticeable to the average person, and you're all very average. But to me, it's very, very, very noticeable. Right? It's really not about crazy scooters right now, but this is how I can see. It's not even connected and everything, and that's fine. But right now, it's just about lines. Lines being relatively. Oh god. Oh god. Jesus. Anyways, yeah, lines just being clean. That's all I care about right now. Right, is this connected properly? No. But is it okay? Yeah, it's fine. I can just add another cylinder here. Pretend like it's connected like that. See? When you understand, even now that I have this basic understanding of a slightly more complicated mannequin, even when it's fucked, I can make it look pretty decent. Right, and that's all from just thinking about the box. This is obviously always incorrect, and that's something I need to work on. I need to focus on just getting this down, and we can maybe even do that today, right now. Right, how much time do I have left? So 20 minutes roughly. Right, but yeah, do something like this right now. And you see, this is already incorrect again because we're supposed to be seeing it from the bottom, but we're not anymore. So it's all fuck ups, and that's how you learn. But do I care about that? No, because right now it's just about the lines. It just ended up becoming a slight opportunity to essentially create crazy scooters little thing, right? See? So even if it's not legit, it can end up looking legit. And we can even, you don't really see the opposite side of the pipe, but let's say it's like that, right? Now, am I really going to do anything with this? No. Right now, we're just going to focus on going over the lines. And this will probably be the next 15 minutes. So fuck what I said about what I was going to do with that angle. We can do that during the crazy scooters workout. But yeah, see, it's just about lines right now. And you know what's amazing is I wasn't really thinking that much when I drew this. Yet yesterday and the day before, I was fucking hounding my brain trying to figure this out. Now, I can create roughly the same outcome, roughly, with much less cognitive effort, focusing more on the lines than the perspective at all. Hence why there's still perspective mistakes, and hence why it doesn't look that great. But the fact that it looks equivalent to my most strenuous outcomes of the past couple days and even this morning, versus now where it's already embedded a bit more into my muscle memory, physically and mentally, it's amazing. That's really, really, really good. It's crazy. I'm already at almost 500 subscribers. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to fucking fill the air with random shit to talk about. But, what else can I talk about? I feel as if I finally exhausted everything art related, apart from saying the same shit about growth mindset over and over. So, we'll see. Well, I'm also trying to focus on spacing and proportion here. And see, okay, now we know I struggle with this angle a lot because my pen keeps lifting up, and that was a very broken line. So, if it's broken, it's fine, but we're gonna do our best not to break it up. Okay, so it breaks more the higher my finger gets. So that's something. This is like something in the opposite end, right? Where it's too much line thickness. There you go. I'm gonna keep going in that direction, thankfully, because we have this. And we can see. Hopefully, the biggest thing is even if I'm not doing it exactly how I want, I'm making an effort, right? All these are all errors. Every single one of them are errors, which is good. That's great because now I'm telling my brain and my body that it's so ready for more errors. Yeah, see, these are all errors. These lines are all horrible, right? So it's fine. That's how you learn. For this, I'm going to follow the form because it's still good to reinforce perspective. But first, let me rest my brain. And then we'll continue onwards, right? Okay, see how seemingly little. Okay, wait, let me. I'm gonna fucking. I'm gonna stop talking. Let me rest my brain. Yeah, see, but I was what I was trying what I was trying to say is that you see how essentially within what an hour, 50 minutes, seemingly how little is done, but how beneficial it can be, right? This is the foundation, you know. These lines are gonna create the lines 30 years from now, which look magical, right? These lines are the lines which, yeah, 30, even like 5, 10 years from now, will have people going, damn, how'd your lines get so thin and clean and consistent, right? And that's why, again, I created this channel. So those questions are answered and the revenue and retention is given to the right, what's it called, topic, which is my videos. But yeah, no, seriously, that is why I created the channel. And I'll keep saying it over and over because I feel as if it's important to keep reinforcing this, is the fact that it exists to remind beginners and artists, not just beginners, but I guess it's tailored towards beginners in the sense because I am a beginner, right? And I am going through my beginner journey. You know, I'm not intermediate or advanced in any way. So it's not tailored for them, but it will probably attract beginners, right? But this is just a reminder to artists in general how much work it takes, right? How much work it takes to get good at any skill, but because art is such a personal skill, in the sense that it's a really, really good at skill. It's a really, really good skill at reminding you how much you have to learn, right? It's an incredible skill for that. And that's the beauty of it. That's the thing, right? I'm trying to reinforce to everyone that it is a beautiful thing. Learning is a beautiful thing. It requires a lot of discomfort. But that's the thing, is when you acknowledge and you tell yourself that discomfort, you know, you hear from everybody, discomfort is where you grow, discomfort is where you grow. Just train yourself, train your brain, and see how all those lines are shit. But yeah, train your brain to genuinely believe it and derive pleasure from that. You're unstoppable at that point. It's why I don't have a bad art day anymore. I struggled with it and I thought I actually did internalize it, but now I've truly internalized it. I just don't have a bad art day anymore because every day that I'm trying and every day that I'm making a genuine cognitive effort, which is every day, I am improving, you know? Like, as long as you're putting in effort as much as you can, you are definitely improving. You just gotta, obviously, there are correct things to put effort in, and that's not controversial. Again, fundamentals are not controversial, or they shouldn't be. There are absolutely correct things. Fucking Reddit pisses me off because the Artist Lounge subreddit, they say a lot of good advice, but then there's dipshits who keep saying things like, well, you know, just draw what you want and, you know, it'll be fine because you're still learning. Yeah, that's true. If you draw what you want, and you'll still technically be learning as long as you care about improvement. But if you care about improving in a way that's structured, that's efficient, which I would assume most people do, you know, because most of your fucking complaints are the fact that you're not improving fast enough, or you blah blah blah, like, you know, how do you do this, how do you do that? Yeah, so if you give a shit about fucking improving in a structured manner, you're gonna want to give a shit about practicing the fundamentals, right? I don't know, it just seems it's like the most brain dead obvious thing, but I guess most of you are brain dead and lack the obvious. So tis what it is. That's why I'm here to encourage you. If you are retarded, join my channel and learn that this retard right here, he too can get better. Evidently, right? I want to be, what is it, relatable. I'm probably not that relatable at all. Let's be honest. You know, because I'm so fucking sexy and my voice is so deep. Most definitely makes vast majority of you insecure and gives you performance anxiety, at the very least when it comes to your art, if not your entire life. But oh, my neck is so sore. Is this karma for talking shit? But anyways, we're gonna do a curved line now because that's also very difficult. Yeah, let's do one more here. Come on, you can it. Oh, that's so difficult. Oh, see, that was fucked. I couldn't that properly. What about this one? That's pretty good. And again, the goal is making extremely thin, confident yet comfortable lines. Right? Thin, confident, and comfortable. Right? I'm sure that can be a slogan for something. Basically, my dick. This is a fucking pencil dick. Thin, confident, and comfortable. Very good. Why'd I add this? Habit, because of all the crazy scooter practice. But also, you see how this angle and this curve results in very thick and unconfident lines? Okay, so we obviously need to focus on the form here. because that's part of the perspective, right? And we need to think about the form as we're drawing through it, which I'm struggling with right now because I haven't drawn very tiny ellipses in a while. But I think it slowly is, except for that one, getting better. See, now it has a tendency to lean, because when you don't see the entire form, it can be difficult to draw the rest of it. Right? But I did my best. So that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm always fucking bitching about something. So I think in this episode, quote unquote, I'm trying to be inspirational, but then I'm getting agitated. And I'm just fucking complaining at the end of it. But yeah, guys, I believe in you. I believe in you. So believe in me by giving me subscriptions and likes and money. Especially money. Especially money. There you go. See? Not bad. This is what my lines were like when I was much more stressed or holding it tightly. But now I'm holding it much thinner, and yet they're still slowly making their way towards my previous degree of, I guess, line confidence, consistency, and proficiency, right? So, just a matter of time. And by time, I mean probably like a few years before this is at the degree where I want it to be. There you go. Oh, my back. My back is so sore, everything hurts. But the drawing session is top tier. So fun. So fun. How much time has elapsed? 57 minutes. Okay, I can draw this wheel, rest my brain, and then do another form. Draw over that, right? This entire page, front and back, is going to be filled with lines, so I'm not in a rush. And this is, again, you see that break was not supposed to happen, but it did because my lines need work. And again, it's really difficult to visualize an ellipse when it is cut off, right? Even here I had trouble with that. That's why you gotta round the form out, right? Gotta keep my hand nice and relaxed, which does result in more, see, that was wrong, more shaky lines. But this is okay. This is actually not that bad. That was horrible. That's to be expected, because look how little space I have to create that line, right? Okay. It's fine. Let me rest my brain. I'll draw something else. And again, like what I'm doing here is also a little bit of a form indication, right? Which is why I'm focusing on drawing a form and then just drawing lines all over it. It reinforces my knowledge of the form that I'm drawing on, which is very helpful too, right? Oh shit, I forgot to put in my food. I guess I'll just practice piano while it cooks then. Fuck, I completely forgot. Yeah, I usually have chicken around this time. Air fried chicken. Very tasty. Very plain, but very tasty. Chicken drumsticks, if any of you are curious. Okay, it's been an hour, so yeah, one more shape that will do. And then, so what should the box be? That could be something like, right? I'm trying to think. kind of fucked it up a little, but it's what it is. Then, let's see. Don't know if that's correct. But it feels like the perspective for this got changed in the process. It doesn't hurt to think a little here. And then something like that. Who knows? Again, I'm not really thinking too much about the form right now, but oh wait, no, that's incorrect. I shouldn't have had that line. Or maybe I should have. Who knows? And where does this go? I guess this just stops right around here. I know my lines should have been a bit better. That's for sure. See, I got caught up in the perspective. Right, so that's on me. What is it that I made? I have no idea. I did lose the perspective a little bit, because even though this is kind of what I was thinking of in terms of the plane, right, it did get shifted slightly, and that's something I can work on. Well, I guess if I've drawn this here, might as well do some lines. I wonder if it still sounds like I'm murmuring. Sometimes it does, I know it does, but it's fine, it's what it is. Yeah, this video is gonna go a little bit over an hour, but that's fine. See, really bad lines, right? So we know that here I really need to focus on pen pressure and sensitivity. I'm gonna keep doing that angle because I want to work on it a bit more. See, everything is a skill, right? The skill of just slightly loosening the grip on my pen has completely altered the lines that I put down. Right? Look how much worse the lines are, purely because of the fact that I've loosened my grip, right? I think this is the form. I could be wrong, but I think this is the form. See, my grip was a bit too tight there, so we need to loosen it again. Yep, but that was a wrong, not wrong per se, but that was an error. Yes, that was an error. That was an incorrect line. Cool. See? Takes a lot of time. I don't know who the fuck or why I keep saying C over and over, because I highly doubt anybody's watching at this point. I mean, if you are, good on you. I hope you're actually drawing along and you're not just listening to me ramble and getting a fucking boner from being like, he's right, he's absolutely right, but you're not doing a thing about it. That's the worst, because I used to do that all the time, right? It's when you watch these videos, but you're just not doing anything. You're just fucking masturbating over the words they say, right? I'm flattered if you masturbate over what I say, but genuinely seek help. And by help, I mean pick up a pen and start drawing. And yes, I very intentionally said pen as it builds confidence, right? See how shit these lines are? It's because I'm using pen. Never use this material. It's the material. It's not the skill. It's always the fault of the tool you use. The one who wields the tool is perfect. Socrates. But let's see, what about here? Oh, my lines really need work in this angle. Yep, definitely need work. So let's do it again here. Because this is where my grip seems to tighten a lot. So I need to focus on loosening it and keeping pen pressure consistent. To be honest, every fucking line is shit. every single line needs work, but it's what it is. It's what it is. See, the biggest thing I'm trying to focus on is pen pressure and consistency of that pressure, of course. This is actually very reminiscent of Junji Ito's style. He also essentially goes over the contours a lot. And my girlfriend mentioned this as well, where she's like, it looks like Junji Ito. It's not intentional, but when you actually look at Junji Ito, he's a mangaka, horror mangaka. When you look at his art, it is actually true. Like you notice actually how he indicates form, which is he really indicates form. He almost I wouldn't say over because it is his stylistic choice, but he definitely indicates the form a lot. Right, okay, so these lines are bad. These lines are definitely struggle. Look at that, yeah. See? And this is also going to be a bit of a struggle. Okay, cool. I guess I'm done for the time being. Wonderful. Right, that was actually really fun, and that was good. My shoulders, everything is pain. Yeah, that was really good practice in general. So I hope some of what I said resonated with. I hope I can't fucking speak. Whatever. If you liked what I said, you say what I like. Right? It's as simple as that. So yeah, like, subscribe, all that shit. I mean, again, like if you're this far, you're a fucking moron, an absolute tard. If you haven't liked, subscribed, and shared my video to every single person you know, which is probably just yourself. Let's be real. All my fans are loners, right? Let's all loner together. Yeah. With that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money.